Welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Brandon, and this is the Gen 3 Kel-Tec SUB2000. Now, this is a foldable 9mm PCC that is backpack ready and still gets you that 16-inch barrel length, so you don't have to fill out any additional paperwork. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right on in. But before we do, I'll explain how the video breaks down. First, we're going to go into all of the tech specs about the gun. Then we're going to go from tip to butt, talk about all the features that it has, and then after that, we're going to verify, or if they don't have them, get some of the weights, the measurements, like how long this whole thing is unfolded and folded, and then of course measure that trigger pull. So let's start out with those tech specs. Let me fold it just because that's pretty cool. And yes, there is a mag in it. So right out of the box, you actually are going to get a 15-round magazine, so you can total 15 plus 1 right out of the box. This one is a Glock magazine specific, so 9mm Glock mags. Awesome, you can find those pretty much everywhere. Beyond that, your barrel length is actually 16.15 inches. From Kel-Tec themselves, they say that this whole thing is 4.2 pounds, which is pretty impressive. Length when folded is actually 16.15 inches, so really small overall, just basically the barrel length of the gun. That is the entire length of the actual folded portion of it. Your overall length, so unfolded, is actually 30.45 inches. Now you also get a thread protector up front, and it is the barrel is a 1 in 10 twist rate, and you're looking at a 1/2 by 24 thread right here. And they do say that trigger pulse right at that 5-pound mark, which we'll verify a little bit later. Also, why is this, or what's new about this, the Gen 3? So we're gonna touch on that real quick. You can actually turn your barrel portion either way, so left or right. You can have it facing the ejection side or away from that. So when you put an optic up there, like with the Gen 2, you would have to take that optic up to off to fold it. So now with the new Gen 3, it also locks in with the M-lock slots on either side. The real benefit of the Gen 3 is that you get to keep your optic on here. So if you put an optic on there or a like a grip on the bottom or anything like that, you can keep them on there without any issues. When you go to unfold it, you can clearly see this gun is not loaded. We do check every gun before we actually start filming to begin with, but she's good. When you go to unfold it, it actually slides in, and you can kind of feel it right about there. So it'll actually force you to twist it and pull it down. Now, you can actually just throw it down too. I've done this a couple times, and it'll just lock into place automatically, which is cool. So no matter which way you have it, you can actually just throw it down and it will click right into place, and then you are good to go. Another upgrade over the Gen 3 is that you have an ambi bolt hold open. So it doesn't automatically hold the bolt open. You have to pull it back and crank it either to the left or to the right. But like a good HK, you can actually slap this thing closed. I missed that first time. There you go. And it's very satisfying to do. So let's go ahead tip to butt and talk about the other features on the gun. Obviously, you have a threaded barrel, and with the thread protector up top, like I said, you have a 16-inch barrel with a 1 in 10 twist rate. You have a full Picatinny rail up top and a, 2/3 Picatinny rail on the bottom. So it stops right about here in case you want to grab it right there, I believe. You also have M-lock 2/3 the way down the handguard and on both sides. So you can see on the left side and the right side, which is nice. All of this up here is polymer, which keeps this thing really lightweight. And the Kel-Tec SUB2000s are known for just running. They always run. They're very good at just throwing whatever ammo you have into it and going to the range and having fun. Besides that, as we move back down here, you can see we do have our trigger guard. It's also polymer, but this is where you actually, the release is for the thing to fold. So again, just to make sure, we are clear, we are good to go, but you pull the trigger guard out just like that, so you can see it moves right there, and then it frees up the barrel, and then you can twist it and lock it into place. Very, very neat. Unfolding it again, you can actually see, I'm gonna do it in slow motion, that this actually kicks out, there it is right there, and then locks into place. So that is how it operates, very, very simply. I mean, to be honest with you, it's really just a pistol with a long barrel that can fold, which is really cool because you also get a really good shouldering on a 9mm PCC. As we head on back just a little bit farther, opposite of the ejection port, you can see we have a couple of things. One, we have our safety. You push it through, and it's unsafe, or it's not unsafe. Of course, you always know when it's red, that is red for dead, but you can push it either way. So it's kind of a cross bolt, so it goes all the way through the back of the firearm. And just below that, kind of above the trigger guard, you have your mag release. Now, it is extended out pretty far past where you might expect it to on a normal gun, which is nice because it makes it a little bit easier to grab and go. On the grip itself, you have that classic Kel-Tec SUB2000, or just Kel-Tec in general, that square texturing, which if you've ever held a Kel-Tec, it feels exactly like you would expect. And then you have cutouts for that mag in case that Glock mag gets stuck. You can rip it right out of there, which is always nice. And I did click the mag release before I pulled it. You can't just yank it out of there without clicking the mag release. You do have your ejection port right here, which is exactly as you would expect. It does have a little bit of a flare at the back of the ejection port to kick those shells out and away from your face, which is always nice. Even if you're shooting it lefty, you're still going to be able to have it go over your arm, which is nice. Beyond that, you have the action portion, or really where all the magic happens, because this is a blowback system in here. So there's your spring system, all of that is connected right here, and it literally, every time you shoot, boom, 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 boom. This is made out of metal, which is nice and reassuring because that's where the most of the movement is happening, so it's going to be more durable. And then, of course, your charging handle here is also made out of metal, which is very nice and really gives me that confidence to slap it closed. As you fall back even farther, you can see we do have a polymer buttstock with 3 adjustable portions here. So if you want a little bit more length on your buttstock or farther out, you can do that. You do have to remove this pin here, which I can't really show you on YouTube, but you just remove this pin here, you move it back, and then you put the pin back in. I make it sound easy. It's a little bit harder than you may expect. You also have a sling mount here and a clip mount here. So depending on how you want to run it, you have your options. But that is all of the tip to butt kind of review on the Kel-Tec SUB2000. Let's verify that trigger pull, the weight, and then overall lengths just to see if they're giving you accurately what they say they're giving you. So I'll be right back. All right, we have our handy dandy trigger pull wheeler here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the mag. Triple, quadruple clear it, show you that it's clear. We are all good. Support it with my left hand here. Move the mag out the way, and let's go ahead and begin. So trigger pull 1, we're gonna go ahead right here in 3, 2. 3.1 pounds, that seems a little bit on the light side. One more time, get it in there in 3, 2. 4.48 pounds, seems a little bit closer to what we should be reading. Last one in 3, 2. 5.6. So right in that 4 to 5 pound range seems pretty accurate for what they were touting. Now we're going to go ahead and actually measure it with a tape measure. Overall length, folded length, and then height. So at first, let's get rid of that guy. Let's go ahead, stick the mag back in there because most people are going to always have a mag in it, Rob. Here's an idea. All right, we're going to go ahead and put that right there. Boom. I can see it right at 29 inches. And then I'll show it to you. I'll reverse it so you guys can see it a little bit better. We'll grab the buttstock, pull it out. There you go, right just a little bit longer than 29 inches. Now, folded, which is actually, I think they said 30 inches on their actual website. My guess is it's going to be 16.1 because that's the barrel length. But let's see. Right here, we'll get it on the edge. I'll show myself first, and I'll show you guys. Right there. Right at just a little over 16 inches. So, exactly as they had said on their website, just a little over 16 inches. And then you have about 6.5 inches, just a little bit more than that, on the height with the mag in it. So there you go. Finally, let's measure weight. I'll be right back. Let me grab the scale. Okay, scale's on the table, gun's right here. First things first, it's folded. We're gonna remove the mag and give you the weight without the mag. Right there, you can see it. I can't. It is 4.24 pounds. With the mag, you're looking at 4.34 pounds. So overall, under 5 pounds, even with the mag in it. You'll probably be right at about 5 pounds whenever you put your ammo in it. Man, I mean, that's fun to do. That is pretty much everything I have for you guys today. If you have any experiences with the Kel-Tec SUB2000 of any type, please leave a review down below. We would love to see your comments. That is all I have for you today. God bless. Stay safe. It is time to end. Now, I'm gonna go shoot this thing.